From our Chicago studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Samana Siddiqui. Our top story tonight. Nearly 86,000 more people could die if Israel's ongoing war against Gaza further escalates. A joint study conducted by the Johns Hopkins University and the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine projects the deaths of 85,750 Palestinians from physical trauma and disease in the next 6 months. That would come on top of the nearly 30,000 deaths that have been recorded since Israel began its latest war on Palestine last October. The research found that injuries and disease would kill 66,720 Palestinians in the next half year. The study comes as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to take the war to southern Gaza's city of Rafah, where nearly 1.5 million people are sheltering. A San Jose State University faculty member has been placed on leave for assaulting a student. History professor Jonathan Roth allegedly grabbed a female Palestinian student's wrist and twisted it before being removed by campus police. The attack took place during a demonstration against an event featuring Jeffrey Bluttinger. The San Jose chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations says Bluttinger has made past statements justifying Israel's ongoing genocide in Gaza. Bluttinger is the director of the Jewish Studies program at California State University, Long Beach. CAIR applauded San Jose State University's decision to suspend Roth, who it says has reportedly been the subject of multiple student complaints over the years. Israeli airstrikes have intensified in the southern Gazan city of Rafah, killing 3 people and destroying a mosque. This escalation compounds the dire humanitarian conditions faced by the region's 1.4 million Palestinians, which have been labeled inhumane by the World Health Organization. The Palestine Red Crescent Society is raising the alarm over the critical situation at Al-Amal Hospital in Khan Yunis, which has been under siege for the past 30 days. Food shortages are affecting residents in northern Gaza, forcing them to rely on animal feed for sustenance. UN reports reveal that over 4 months of airstrikes have pushed 2.4 million Gazans to the brink of famine. At least 23 U.S. citizens have been killed fighting for the Israeli army since the war started. According to the Washington Post, an estimated 23,380 American citizens currently serve in the Israeli army. Israeli aggression has so far killed 29,313 Palestinians and injured 69,333 since October 7th. Israel's casualties stand at 1,139. 52 countries are presenting evidence at the International Court of Justice, or ICJ, in The Hague this week regarding the legal ramifications of Israel's long-standing occupation of Palestinian territories. This coincides with separate ICJ hearings initiated by South Africa, alleging that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. Representatives from Jordan, Japan, Ireland, China, and Iran addressed the ICJ on day 4. Representing Jordan, Michael Wood emphasized ending the occupation and granting Palestinians the right to self-determination. Key points included Israel's violation of international law through settlement expansion and intentions to annex Palestinian territory. Ireland accused Israel of exceeding self-defense limits. China stressed the importance of the ICJ's advisory opinion for future negotiations supporting Palestinian self-determination. Iraq's representative Haider Shia al-Barrak urged the ICJ to respect previous orders against Israel, such as the provisions called for in January relating to South Africa's genocide case. Lawmakers in Maryland are considering expelling the Council on American Islamic Relations from a state commission dedicated to combating hate crimes. They are citing social media posts by the director of CAIR's Maryland chapter, Zainab Chaudhry, comparing Israel to Nazi Germany. Her praising of Palestinian freedom fighters has also sparked outrage and threats against her. The Israel-backed Anti-Defamation League supports CAIR's removal, citing concerns over inflammatory rhetoric. Chaudhry calls the move an attempt to silence seekers of justice. Despite state law mandating CAIR's presence, a bill is proposing the Attorney General's authority to suspend or remove individual members. The debate reflects ongoing tensions across the country, where supporters of Palestinians amid Israel's 4-month war on the region are facing documented threats to free speech, as well as discrimination at schools, workplaces, and in other venues. Israeli army officials have admitted that the conduct of some of their soldiers in Gaza crossed the criminal threshold. In a letter, the Israeli army's highest legal officer, Yifat Tomer Yerushalmi, said they have encountered cases of unacceptable conduct that deviate from values and protocols. She said some of these cases are being investigated. Tomer Yerushalmi admits that some soldiers committed looting, non-operational use or removal of private property, and destruction of civilian property in violation of orders. She says following the investigations into these acts, the military prosecution will decide what measures to be taken against the suspects. Since the start of Israel's latest war on Palestine last October, Israeli soldiers have been posting videos documenting acts of looting, burning, and destruction of homes, details of assaults, and writing hate graffiti on the walls of houses. Israel currently stands accused of genocide at the International Court of Justice. Israel is getting ready to shut down Al Jazeera. Details after the break, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Israeli Communications Minister Shlomo Karhi has said that the government has prepared the necessary procedures to close Al Jazeera television. He said the issue was discussed at a meeting of the National Security Committee of Israel's parliament. The government has approved a bill and it has passed a first reading in the Knesset. Under the bill, the communications minister will be able to shut down foreign networks operating in Israel and confiscate their equipment. That is, if the defense minister identifies that their broadcast poses an actual harm to the state's security. Al Jazeera has an office in Israel and a team of correspondents working year-round, including covering Israel's current ongoing war. Swiss supermarket chain Migros has sparked controversy after dismissing a cashier who wore a hijab. The cashier questioned her employer's policy after being told she could not wear the headscarf at work. She felt discriminated against, especially seeing others with visible religious symbols. Despite requesting a department transfer, she was promptly fired when she took days off due to discomfort without her hijab. Migros has cited a dress code prohibiting religious headgear for customer-facing staff to justify the dismissal. However, discussions are underway to review this policy. Switzerland has no nationwide rules about headscarves, although legal precedents do recognize their religious significance and protect employees' rights. Afghanistan's Taliban government has granted permission for female high school graduates to enroll in state-run medical institutes across the country. Following a directive from Kabul's Public Health Ministry, enrollment has begun in more than a dozen provinces. This comes amid the Taliban's restrictions on female education and employment after it gained power in August 2021. Citing a severe shortage of qualified healthcare workers, particularly women in the country, aid groups have expressed concern over the broader impact of these restrictions. The Taliban's move to restrict girls' and young women's education has been sharply criticized by Islamic scholars in and outside of Afghanistan. In a report this month, Human Rights Watch said curbs on women and girls have gravely impeded their access to health services. They have also blocked almost all training of future female healthcare workers in Afghanistan. The historic Najiaing Mosque in the Yunnan province has been renovated in line with the Chinese government's Sinicization campaign. That aims to overhaul religious practices and structures with the country's communist ideology under President Xi Jinping's leadership. After authorities demolished the mosque's dome and minarets last year, it now features Chinese-style pagodas and billboards praising the Communist Party. The changes are also reflected in state control of the mosque's administration. Last year, the mosque expanded its minarets and dome. That was ruled illegal by a court in Yunnan's Tonghai County. Analysts say the renovations reflect the Communist Party's insistence on its supreme authority over religious affairs. This has raised concerns with Chinese Muslims about the state's encroachment on their religious autonomy and the integration of patriotism into religious practice. A former FBI informant has been charged with lying about President Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden's dealings in Ukraine. U.S. prosecutors have revealed in a court filing that Alexander Smirnov had obtained information from Russian intelligence-linked sources. He faces charges for making false statements to the FBI and was arrested in Nevada. Smirnov's lawyers maintain his innocence. The revelation reignites scrutiny over Smirnov's discredited allegations, which played a role in a Republican-led impeachment inquiry against Biden. Prosecutors have underscored the lasting impact of Smirnov's bribery accusations. That's all from our Chicago studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Salam and good night.